Yo, what up, guys? It's your boy Ice Master Glason, and today, people, I'm excited because I'm going to be showcasing a very special Pokemon team of mine that goes way back to when I got back into playing the Pokemon games and back into, just playing Pokemon and even watching Pokemon in general. And that is me talking about my competitive XY team. So, from my Pokemon Y version. The very first kind of competitive-ish team I ever built. I'm gonna go through a little backstory just so you guys can kind of get the feel of why this team means a lot to me. So basically, I kind of got back into Pokemon at the end of Pokemon Black and White 2, like literally at the very end, like almost right before, maybe a couple months right before Y actually came out. The X and Y games. And my friend Devin from high school, he kind of got me back into Pokemon. He was playing. I mean, I always played Pokemon, here or there. I had the games. I had, Diamond and Pearl and, Emerald. I played Emerald like so much in my younger years. But anyway, to get more straight to the point, he kind of got me back into it. I started building some teams and battling him, and I would get destroyed every single time by Devin. It was crazy. I love fast Pokemon, so like I always had, speedy Pokemon that hit hard and hit fast, and he's more of a tank. So obviously, when you're have a speedy team and you're facing a tank, it's actually going to be a lot harder to knock him down because he's a tank and that's what he does. He specializes in taking hits. So he has a lot of really bulky mons that can take lots of hits. So no matter how fast I hit, even if I hit very hard, he can usually take all those hits and then throw it back at me a lot harder, which is just crazy. And obviously, I didn't pick a lot of very defensive Pokemon. So, it kind of put me in a position where I had all these fast, aggressive mons, but they couldn't really take hits. So, after getting beat so many times, I decided, I'm going to change the way that I play. I'm going to change the format. And I think this is around the time, if I remember correctly, where, Y finally came out. He got X, I got Y. We played through the game. We had fun. Like, I'm very nostalgic towards Gen 6 because that's like when I kind of got really back into Pokemon. And that was the generation where Game Freak kind of made it easier for you to breed Pokemon for IVs, EVs, shiny hunting, stuff like that, and shiny breeding and all that other stuff. So I did all of that. I used EV training, I IV bred, I did everything. I bred moves. I did everything I could. So, I was grinding, doing this and that. I was looking through different mons to build my new team that I was going to use to defeat Devin. And it took me a long time, a lot of training, a lot of research. I went on Cerebi. I looked at all the, Pokemons. I decided to kind of go with a format where I use 3 of my favorite Pokemons in half of the team, and then the other 3 are 3 Pokemons that have nothing to do with my favorites, but that fill a specific niche. So I looked at how to build competitive teams and stuff like that, and I was like, okay, let me try this out and this and that. So I usually structure my competitive teams very similarly. I have one completely fast physical attacker, one mixed attacker, one fast mixed attacker, and then one fast special attacker. And then for the defensive core, I have one really defensive Pokemon, one mixed defender that can take hits both ways, and then one special defender. And then each of them play different roles to kind of wither down your opponent's team and take hits, so that way my speedy Pokemons, my favorite Pokemons, can go in and sweep against the opponent. So that's pretty much how I had the mindset behind building my team was. So I love this team a lot, and I finally beat him for the first time ever. It was crazy. It was a intense back and forth battle. It was literally, we were down to our last 2 Pokemons, and I finally got the win. I feel like either one of us could have won there, but I finally withered him down just enough where he had a little bit of HP, and he might have been able to outspeed me, but I had a priority move, so I used the priority move to knock him out, and that was it right there. I don't even remember what the last two Pokemon standing were. It might have been my Greninja, could have been my Infernape, so that's a little spoilers. Well, you guys see it in the thumbnail of my team, but yeah, that team means a lot to me. It gave me my first dub. It's actually a very strong team. So the team I'm going to be showing to you now is that team, but a little bit upgraded. So I picked the abilities, I picked the items, I picked which natures, everything. So this is going to be a competitive team. You guys can try it out. It might not be the most competitive for actual competitive players, but for me it was, me delving into competitive thinking and whatnot. But anyway, we're going to hop into it. So first off, we're going to start with the first Pokemon, the ace of my team. Everybody's kind of their own ace, but I'll call this the ace of my team. And that is my Greninja. He is going to be my mixed attacker. That means he can attack both physically, with physical attack and special attack. He can go both ways. He's really fast. And he has the protein ability, so every time he uses a move, he changes his type to become the same as the move that he used. So if he uses Ice Beam, he becomes an Ice type until the following turn when he uses a different move. But he stays an Ice type the whole time until you choose a different move that has a different attribute. Then he would change it to that type. So it's a pretty unique, cool ability, very strong, because it means that every move that you use will be a stab. It'll gain that extra same attack bonus. Yeah, same type attack bonus. Yeah, same type attack bonus. And then the item I have on him is going to be the Life Orb, which will boost his power, decrease his HP a little bit each turn, but he'll hit really hard, so that's really good. His moveset is going to be Water Shuriken for priority, and it's his signature attack, and it's his Water Stab. Then we got Night Slash, also for stab purposes. Then we have U-Turn. I use this to pivot out of situations, so usually I'll start off with him as a lead, and then if I'm facing an opponent's Pokemon that I don't feel like I'm confident to defeat, I just U-turn, do a little bit of damage, bounce out, and then bring out one of my defensive mon to take whatever hit my opponent is going to do. So I'll either so if I'm facing a physical attacker, I'll switch into my physical defender, and if I'm facing a more special attacker, I'll switch into my special defensive Pokemon. And if I don't know which way it's going, or I feel like it's a mix of both, then I'll go into my Rotom, and he could take hits both ways and whatnot. So that's kind of how I use U-turn right there. And then the final move set will be Ice Beam. Very powerful move set right there. It's very good. It covers a lot of bases, kills a lot of different things, and very aggressive. So he has 2 special attacking moves, which is Ice Beam and Water Shuriken, and then 2 physical attacking moves, which is U-turn and Night Slash. So he's my mixed attacker, which is really good. And then I chose the hasty nature as well, so that means that's an increase in speed and a decrease in defense, which the defenses don't matter that much anyway, because he's very fragile, so I don't expect him to take it, so I don't really care about decreasing his defenses because it won't really matter all that much. So yeah, that is my very powerful ace, Greninja, and he's going to be a shiny. I have many shiny Greninjas actually that fulfill different purposes, but yeah, he's going to be a shiny Greninja because I love it. Everybody loves shiny Greninja and whatnot. But yeah, so we're going to move on to the next member of the team. Alright, so for the next member, we have our physical attacker. We have good old Infernape right here. He's going to have the ability Iron Fist, and he's going to have the item Focus Sash. So basically, Focus Sash will make it so that if he would be knocked out in one hit, he'll always be left with 1 HP, which is good, because if I need to, during crazy situations, swap him in for whatever reason, he'll be able to take that hit, and then I can go in for the attack, or whatever the case may be. The point is, I'll always be able to take 1 hit no matter what it is, as long as he's at full HP, and then I can at least get 1 good attack in and go all out. And Iron Fist will boost the attack of all fist type moves and whatnot. So for his moveset, we have Flare Blitz. You could also replace this for Fire Punch if you want, but I have Flare Blitz there because obviously it's iconic to the anime, and it does massive damage at the cost of some HP. So keep in mind, if you use Flare Blitz, you'll lose some of your HP as recoil damage, which will make your focus sash useless because you have to be at full HP to use the focus sash. So use that wisely, strategically. So be careful with that. So there's Flare Blitz. Then we have Close Combat for a very powerful fighting type move, but it decreases your attack and defense by, I think, 1 or 2 stages. So be careful with that as well. Very risky. You could also swap that in for Mach Punch if you want a priority move just to hit something real quick. And then Fire Punch to replace Flare Blitz if you want to play it more safe. But if you want to go all out, then go with Flare Blitz and Close Combat. Then we have Thunder Punch to counteract other water types and flying types and stuff like that. And then we have U-Turn. So he also has U-Turn as well for the same reason, to pivot out of situations that are too risky and go into one of my defenders and whatnot, which is really cool. And then I have the Jolly Nature, which increases speed and decreases special attacks. Since this is a pure physical attacker, I don't need the special attack stat, so I remove that. Alright, so now we're gonna move into the final of my main core, my main offensive core, which is going to be my Mega Manectric. It's gonna have the Intimidate ability, and obviously the item is gonna be its Mega Stone, so the Manetrite. And then for its moveset, it's gonna be pretty simple. It's gonna be Thunderbolt, Volt Switch. Volt Switch is also the same thing as U-Turn. So all 3 of my main starters have Volt Switch. I don't necessarily have to have it that way. That's just the way I built it and the way I like it. That way I could start with any one of those 3 and then pivot out of the situation to, if I feel like they can't handle it, or, and do a little damage. I love it because you get to do a little bit of damage and then bounce right out and then, do that. So I love moves like that just pivot out because it allows me to actually deal a little chunk of damage while swapping into one of the mons that could take it and then start withering them down with those mons. Then we have Flamethrower, which shockingly he learned Flamethrower, so that's really cool. And then Hidden Power. All these movesets are based on the movesets you can learn in X and Y. These are the movesets that I built in X and Y, so keep that in mind. And then we have Hidden Power for the final move, and I think mine was Hidden Power Ground. That's the one I was going for, to counteract... Actually, no. Well, yeah, I think I had Hidden Power Ground on him, but I because I couldn't control the IVs back then like that, I just had a Manectric and I kind of ran with that. But if I were running it competitively, I would do Hidden Power Ice because that way it would counter his one weakness, which is Ground. So I would do that for Hidden Power Ice. So you can do that there. But yeah, that's pretty much it right there, guys. And also it has the Timid Nature, so plus speed and minus attack because it doesn't use its attack. Alright, we're going to run into the defensive core now. For the defensive core, we're going to start with our physical defender. We're going to start with Ferrothorn. So I was playing around with a bunch of different Pokemons I would never use because they're not my favorites. And now I fell in love with these Pokemons after using them. And now I appreciate their designs as well as them as Pokemon. So it really opened my horizons in terms of team building, because now I consider all Pokemons. Now I don't ignore them because I don't like the way they look and that. I'm like, all right, well, let's see what you can do now. Let's see what your stats look like. See what moves you learn. Let's see what your typings and how they synergize with the team and what you can do. Now my mind is open-minded to any Pokemon because of this. But anyway, so we have Ferrothorn here. He's going to be my physical defender right here. He's going to take all the physical hits, man. He's a grass steel type, which is very strong. He's only ×4 weak to fire. So all you have to do is avoid fire and you're good to go. That's pretty much it. So I don't really consider that a weakness. He has very low special defense, I believe. Yeah, very low. No, actually, he has pretty decent special defense. It's actually not that bad. So you could technically run him a little mix too, but running him physically defensive is usually the way to go. Anyway, so for the ability, we have Iron Barbs, which is basically a Rocky Helmet, which means when they attack you physically with a physical move, they'll take a little bit of damage. I forgot how much the percentage is, but maybe it's 1/16 or something like that. I don't know. I don't remember. And then on top of that, he's also going to be running the Rocky Helmet, which is double the pain, because the Rocky Helmet does the exact same thing. So you're going to be taking damage from his ability and from the Rocky Helmet. So usually I take one of my speeders and if I'm facing a physical attacker, I'll U-turn out and then go into my Ferrothorn, and they're taking twice damage, for the Iron Barbs and the Rocky Helmet. So very good strategy, very fun to use, very annoying for people to face, and whatnot. And then for its moves, he's got Power Whip. It's a little bit inaccurate, so it does miss sometimes, but when it hits hard. I don't know if he had any other moves. I think he might have Seed Bomb. So if you can find another physical attacking grass type move, then by all means replace Power Whip. I just added Power Whip because it does massive damage, but you could swap it for something else if you want. That's a physical grass move, or whatever you want. It's up to you. But that's how I ran it. Then we have Iron Head for his Stab Steel type move, and then we have some utility moves. We have Leech Seed. I love using this. I have Iron Barb's Rocky Helmet, so he's taking damage. Then I put the Leech Seeds on him, and then I'm draining his HP, and then also gaining HP. So every time I'm getting hit, I'm gaining some of my health back while draining his at the same time. And then his final move set is Stealth Rock. I usually would start off with that. Like once I swap into him, I'll usually start with Stealth Rock most of the time, so that way it weakens all of his opponent's mons even more. So literally, like everything he does extra damage. So he's a very annoying Pokemon to deal with. I love him so much. He's great. I fell in love with Ferrothorn competitively and now even design wise, and he's really cool. Alright, so next up for the specially defensive mon on my defensive core will be Tentacruel. So this was before Toxapex was a thing. So he would probably... I wouldn't replace him. I'm keeping him. That's my boy. It's going to be a shiny Tentacruel. I love the shiny. It looks really nice. It has the Liquid Ooze ability. The ability is irrelevant. You could really run anything, but the Liquid Ooze ability is what I have on him. And then the item, I just put a Black Sludge because I couldn't think of anything else, and I think it powers up. No, he gains HP, a little HP back, I think, every turn. It's kind of similar to Leftovers, but it's specific for poison types and whatnot. For his moveset, we have Scald. It's a decent special attacking move, and it has the chance to burn, so it's really good. Then we got Sludge Bomb for its stab poison type move. And then for its utility moves, we have Toxic Spikes. So we can do Toxic Spikes and Stealth Rocks, and it's a wrap right there. And then for the last move, we got Rapid Spin. This move is literally only there to get rid of your opponent's spikes and Stealth Rocks and stuff like that, because Rapid Spin has that secondary effect where it gets rid of like certain field things. I don't have the proper terminology, but you know what I'm saying. Like it gets rid of the spikes and stuff on the field. Spikes, Toxic Spikes, and I think also Stealth Rock as well. So yeah, it gets rid of that stuff. So it's just there to get me out of the tight spot. I can just Rapid Spin out and then protect the rest of my team that way. But yeah, so, and then for its nature, we have the Calm Nature, which is upped in special defense. He has very high special defense and surprisingly really good speed. It's very shocking how much speed he has. He has 100 base speed, which is really strong. So I specifically chose Tentacruel because he has high speed as well as high special defense, which means I can he's fast enough to put a Toxic Spikes on the field before taking any hits, which is really good. So I like that a lot because he's shockingly fast and whatnot. So it is what it is. But yeah, so that's Tentacruel right there. Very, very good main member of the team. And then for the final member of the team, we have our mixed defender. We have good old Rotom Wash, electric water type. He has the Levitate ability. He always comes with that. And then he has Leftovers on him. So he's at the end of each turn, he's constantly gaining back a little bit of HP, which makes it harder to kill him. Then for his moveset, we have Thunderbolt for his stab. Hydro Pump, which he gains when he becomes a wash. Then we have Will-O-Wisp to burn your opponent. It can be a little bit inaccurate, but once you get it, it's worth it. It's usually worth the risky chance. Burning your opponent is good because it cuts the opponent's attack in half, and at the end of each turn, they lose HP, which is good. And then we have for the final move, Thunder Wave to paralyze. So he can either burn you or paralyze you. Tentacruel can poison you. Like basically, the whole point of my defensive core is they're there to wither down my opponent's team, like I said, so that way my main members my main speedy attackers can go in and sweep and just knock Pokemons out, because the defensive core is actually slowly withering down his team, poisoning, burning, paralyzing, draining, and all that stuff. So that way my physical attackers can come in and just clean house. So that's why they're there. They're there to cover everything. And then for its nature, we have the modest nature, which is upped in special attack and subtracting in attack, which it doesn't matter because he doesn't have any physical attacks. So yeah, that is my main competitive Pokemon XY team. I love this team so much. It means a lot to me. I bred this team from the bottom up. Like, I literally, did a bunch of breeding for moves and stuff like that. I think most of these moves, though, were pretty much level up stuff for the most part, or move tutor stuff. But a lot of my other teams, I did a lot more breeding and stuff. But yeah, this team is strong. I love using it. It got me many wins, and it's very good. It's very good. I can't wait for you guys to let me know what you guys think. What do you guys think of this team? Do you think it's solid? You see any? There's always going to be weaknesses. Let's be real. But yeah, do you think it's solid? Do you see any weaknesses? Just let me know what you think. But that is my competitive XY team. We have my main man Greninja. We have Infernape, my other main man right there. We got Mega Manectric, Ferrothorn, Tentacruel, and Rotom Wash, and that's it. That's my main competitive XY team. I wanted to share this team for a long time and show you guys. I made a thumbnail years ago, I think 2 years ago or something like that, and I never got to make the video until now. But I'm here and I'm making the video, and I'm excited to talk about it and share it with you guys. If you guys want to see me make future videos too, where I make competitive teams for like each generation, so like a competitive competitive Galar team, competitive Hoenn team, and stuff, like what would I make, what kind of competitive team would I make in that generation. And you can make many. I have many other teams for XY too, but that was like the first one. This is my baby right here. This is my baby. From the ground up, I built this thing, and I love it so much. But anyway, guys, thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. God bless you guys. I will see you guys in the next video. Stay cool, guys. Peace.